So an unbalanced signal uses two wires. It's two conductors, okay? There is one wire that carries your audio or your signal. It's the one on your left. So you see we have audio or voltage and current traveling on one wire, and our second wire, which is the black wire, is ground. And we're just going to consider ground a reference point right now. In electrical terms, ground as a reference. And again, we could do a 2-hour webinar just on grounding, but let's just consider it our reference point for now, okay? So noise is getting into our signal. And where does noise come from? Well, there's static electricity in the air all the time. There's electromagnetic waves that are traveling around in the air. And our wires actually act kind of like antennas. So they're actually picking up those extraneous electromagnetic signals. And it gets into our signal as noise, and that noise is usually replicates itself as buzzes, hums, we've all heard in our sound system. In a 2-wire or unbalanced system, you see on the output, you see the signal and the noise are combined. When we're talking about a balanced audio signal, now we have a 3-wire system or 3 conductors. And if you look, you see 2 wires are carrying the audio, which is the red wire and the green wire. And if you notice, they're 180 degrees out of phase or opposite polarity. And like we just said on before, when we have 2 signals that are 180 degrees out of phase at the same exact time, they cancel each other. And the 3rd wire, of course, in a 3-conductor system is going to be ground. So now what happens when we have noise introduced into our system? That noise, as you can see on the diagram, is actually in phase with each other. So now we have our audio, which is out of phase, and we have our noise, which is in phase. So on the output of the device, what happens is there's what's called a differential amplifier. That differential amplifier actually looks for what's different and flips the phase. So if we flip the phase on the output of this signal, now our audio is now in phase, but what happens to our noise? It's now out of phase. So that noise is now 180 degrees out of phase with each other, and it cancels. So it just gives us an idea of why we try to use balanced signals in our audio system to reduce noise. Let's look at some of the connectors we use. So the ones on the left, RCA cables, everybody's seen them. Everybody's used them in their home stereo system. Some outputs of video decks use RCA connectors. They are unbalanced connectors. 1/4-inch cables, 1/4-inch connectors, you see they come in 2 different types. They can either be balanced or unbalanced. And the way to tell the difference is you see on the 1/4-inch connector on the right, you see that there are 2 bands. The 2 bands, as opposed to the 1 band on the left, indicates that it's a balanced or a 3-conductor, called tip ring sleeve connector or TRS connector. And then on the right, you'll see your typical XLR connector with 3 pins, pin 1, pin 2, pin 3. And it relates to you can see how it relates to a tip ring sleeve or a TRS cable. So the pin 2 carries one side of the audio. We usually call that the hot pin because it's carrying the in-phase signal. Pin 3 is also carrying the audio signal, but that's the cold, which is carrying the 180-degree out-of-phase audio. And then we have pin 1, which is the ground. And again, just notice on the TRS connector where they relate. Pin 2 is equated to the tip, pin 3 to the ring, and pin 1 to the sleeve of the 1/4-inch cable.
We are Capital Stage Techs. Capital Stage Techs is the only company specifically focused on the education and training of all aspects of the AV professional. Through our wide array of live, hands-on workshops and webinars, we provide the technical knowledge, customer service and ethics skills, and industry-specific hygiene standards that are essential qualities for today's production staff, from the entry-level stagehand to production management and specialist roles. Capital Stage Techs also designs custom training programs specifically tailored to meet our clients' unique needs. Capital Stage Techs, training the next generation of AV professionals.